This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It's Tuesday, June 15th.
Well, the wildland fire that began May 17th in a remote location of the Nevada National Security Site is now 100% contained. Aerial mapping indicates the so-called Cherrywood fire burned more than 26,000 acres over the past 4 weeks. The Bureau of Land Management transitioned operations back to the Nevada National Security Site Fire and Rescue on May 27th when the fire reached 75% containment, when they determined the remaining 25% was of little risk of reigniting. Authorities say the Cherrywood fire posed no risk to health and human safety and no off-site risk to the public.
And a man is under arrest on 3 counts of arson after authorities identify him as a suspect in 3 fires at Walmart stores in Clark County.
The Clark County Fire Department's Fire Investigation Division arrested Brian Ray Miller Monday on 3 counts of first-degree arson. He's suspected of setting a series of fires at Walmart stores in Clark County. In each incident, a fire was set in the paper goods aisle, causing a large fire that activated each of the store's sprinkler systems. Those fires caused about $100,000 damage in each incident. Miller's arrest comes after the most recent fire yesterday at the Walmart store at 5198 Boulder Highway. Miller is also suspected of starting a fire at that same store on April 13th and a fire at the Walmart at 6005 Southeastern Avenue on April 17th. Authorities haven't said whether they've determined a motive for those fires.
And one man was taken into custody for an alleged domestic battery incident here in Pahrump.
Nye County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of a domestic. As they arrived, they heard an adult female screaming for help from inside of the residence. Upon entering the unlocked front door, law enforcement observed an adult female sitting on the floor and a male adult identified as Cody Spencer sitting on a bed. The woman told deputies that Spencer was her husband and they reside together with their 4 children. According to the declaration of arrest, the victim told deputies that she was engaged in a verbal argument with Spencer and it turned physical. She said that Spencer allegedly pushed her with both of his hands onto the bed and sat on top of her in a straddle position across her abdomen, physically not allowing her to get off the bed. He reportedly told her that she couldn't leave and detained her. Cody Spencer was taken into custody and arrested for false imprisonment and domestic battery.
Another area man is taken into custody after initially failing to stop for Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies during a traffic stop today here in Pahrump.
A male driver of a red dually pickup truck was taken into custody this morning by Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies. Officers with the Nye County Sheriff's Office say that the vehicle did not yield when signaled by deputies because of an expired registration. That's when the short pursuit began westbound on Highway 372, ending in the parking lot of the United Methodist Church. Additional officers arrived on scene and the male and female in the car were taken into custody during a felony traffic stop with guns drawn. The female was temporarily detained. The male was taken into custody by the Nye County Sheriff's Office and transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center.
All right, demand for Girl Scout cookies goes down. That and more financial news when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leaks, Pahrump's optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300.
Welcome back. The average price of a new car reaches a record high. GM ramps up plans to build more battery factories, and there's weakening demand for Girl Scout cookies, even with Unette Gentry in the mix.
Topping our news, new car prices are rocketing higher. J.D. Power reports the average new car price reached a new record of $38,255 last month. That is up 12% compared to a year ago. 75% of car, truck, and SUV buyers paid within 5% of the sticker price. General Motors will be rolling out plans to build more battery factors. No word yet on the locations, but according to the AP, the new factories are in addition to cell plants. The automaker is ramping up production of 30 new electric vehicles by 2025. And get your appetite ready for Thin Mints and Do-si-dos. The Girl Scouts are stuck with 15 million boxes of unsold cookies. The organization blames coronavirus for the slowdown in sales. The Girl Scouts normally sell 200 million boxes and generate $800 million for the troops.
All right, we cannot let that happen, even if I have to lead the cookie charge myself. Thanks so much, Angela. Turning back now to more local news, June is LGBTQ+ Pride Month, and the LGBTQ Center of Southern Nevada, based in Las Vegas, wants people here in Pahrump to join in the celebration. This past weekend, the group held a Pride event at the Pahrump Nugget. Jim McCoy is the development manager at the LGBTQ+ Center of Southern Nevada.
We're excited to be here. The center is based out of Las Vegas, but we are the Gay and Lesbian Community Center of Southern Nevada. And we welcome everyone. So what we're starting to do is just branch out. It is Pride Month. We're celebrating our pride. What we've established here in Pahrump is a community event, all ages, here at the Nugget. And we've felt so welcome, and the turnout so far has been incredible. And the most important thing we want to achieve today is bring the Pahrump community together. And it's family friendly, and I couldn't be more elated just to share this with everybody. And we're going to continue this on, whether it's a monthly event or every other month. We just love being at Pahrump.
Your court report after this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
And now Missy Kohler has updates on some of the court cases News 25 has been following. Here is your court report.
Daniel Dalmas appeared for arraignment on June 4th. He entered a plea of no contest for overriding, torturing, injuring, abandoning animals, failure to provide sustenance, a Category D felony. Dalmas was arrested in November of 2020 after Animal Control was contacted to do a welfare check on 2 kittens who were treated for serious injuries to their mouths. Dalmas admitted to being angry with the kittens for defecating on a blanket. He held them by their napes and grinded their faces into the carpet as punishment, pulling their lips off of their jaws. Dalmas will appear in Judge Wonker's courtroom again on August 13th at 9 a.m. for his sentencing. Ashley Gallipo was charged on July 21, 2017 with insurance fraud, third-degree arson, damaging a motor vehicle, burning property with intent to defraud insurer, and attempted theft, all felonies. Gallipo appeared for sentencing in court on June 4th. She pled guilty then to conspiracy to commit insurance fraud and conspiracy to commit third-degree arson. Both the defense and the state recommended a year in jail suspended and probation. Judge Wonker took her sentence a bit farther. She gave Gallipo 364 days in jail for each count consecutive, suspended, probation, $1,000 fine for each count, restitution to the insurance company, and then she ordered Gallipo to spend 15 weekends in jail. And Kevin Flores received his sentence for conspiracy to elude peace officers with endangerment to person or property. Flores was arrested after a report of a Bourbon Street home invasion in November of 2020. Deputies responded to the scene to find Flores fleeing the area, nearly striking a patrol car. Deputies chased Flores until he ditched the vehicle near Blagg and Atchison Street and then ran on foot. Thanks to tips from the public, Nye County Sheriff's Office was able to apprehend him a few hours later. Flores entered a guilty plea, and the defense asked for probation with an underlying sentence of 364 days suspended. The state did not oppose. The judge reported that Flores had so far been successful in drug court, so she agreed with the recommendations. Flores was sentenced to probation, 364 days suspended, and he must complete drug court. That is your court report for today. I'm Missy Kohler.
Thanks so much, Missy. Well, with this week's soaring temperatures, plenty of people will be seeking relief in the water. Whether in the backyard pool or a local lake, Nye Communities Coalition Community Project Coordinator Carla Beacon says it's important to stay vigilant to prevent any accidental drownings.
It's pool season, so that at the NYCC we have a grant which is aimed at drowning prevention education. And so this week I went around and there are large posters like this that have been put up at our town pool, at the hotel pools, at Mountain Falls pool, and any pool that we could get to in town, so that people can really pay attention to watching their kids while they're in the pool and when they're near a pool, even if they're not planning on being near a pool. 23% of kids died during a family function in a pool.
When there's people all over the place.
Everybody thinks that somebody else is watching the kids in the pool, and it just takes 1 second for that kid to go away, or you're paying attention to your phone and the kid drowns. It's not, drowning isn't what, the movies make it out to be. I'm drowning. No, it's just silent. They just silently go under the water.
Yeah.
And so there needs to be an adult looking at the pool all the time. But it's super important that you teach your kids how to swim. That prevents drowning by 88%.
Wow.
So teach them young. Put a barrier around your pool. Fence it in. Put an alarm on that door that goes to the pool, because kids just slip out.
Yeah.
So it happens too often, and hopefully by getting some education out there to our fellow citizens, we can save babies. Another thing that's really important is if you're going to be near the lake, get a life vest. As many little kids that die in pools is the same amount of teenagers that die in lakes. So they call it the X factor. As they get older, the more likely they are to die in a lake, because they're daredevils, right? They'll just jump in. They'll jump off the dock not knowing that there's a rock underneath that they're going to hit, and it's difficult to find them because it's murky water.
Yeah.
It's not like a pool where you could look down and see a child there.
Yeah.
So I just really encourage all of your listeners to be vigilant around water, whether it's your kid in the bathtub or a pool or the lake. Don't be looking away. Have eyes on your kids.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, it's John Kohler, starting out the KPVM weather window with the extreme heat. Look at that sunshine. Man, it's really beaten down. If you've got animals, they turn into jerky quickly outside. Keep them indoors while it's this hot. We'll be back with a weather report. Stick around.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. In the Eskimo language, there's 47 words for all the different kinds of snow. I heard a new one today for the different kinds of hot we have today. This is August hot. Look at this all up and down the state. Fernley, Fallon, you're in the mid to upper 90s. Carson City actually is pretty pleasant at 85, but Tonopah, Goldfield, Beatty, you're all sweating it out, sneaking up on triple digits. We get there in Beatty, 107, 111 in Amargosa, 115 in Las Vegas. Oh, Lord. And 123 in Death Valley, California. But here in the paradise of Pahrump, well, how about 109? Ugh. It was worse earlier. It was 110. It was our high today. Southwesterly winds to 10 miles per hour. Sun rose this morning in all its glory at 5:25 a.m. Great time to be taking a walk, actually, before it got all headed up. Sun setting this evening at 8:03, and we'll look for the low side of the temperatures to reach 81 as we head towards morning. We'll have some partly cloudy skies towards dawn. And what does that set up for the week? Lots of clouds, actually, for the next 3 days. And those temperatures not really getting us a break. We'll be reliably around 110 degrees for the next 4 or 5 days. Saturday, Sunday, we'll lose some of the cloud cover, and the winds will pick up just about 5 miles per hour on into the rest of the week, where we'll have clear skies and temperatures well into the triple digits. It's going to be a dinger, folks. Hang on. Lots of water. Be careful with the exertion outside, and stay close to your AC. And we'll just pray for you. All right, back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
Thanks so much, John. And speaking of heat and being outside, if you have little kids, you know how difficult it can be to slather them up with sunscreen to protect their delicate skin from the sun. According to Cleveland Clinic dermatologist Dr. Melissa Piliang, one childhood sunburn, just one, can increase the risk for melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer.
Studies have shown that most of our sun exposure happens in childhood. We're outside running around playing, we're playing sports, we're outside a lot, and that's when we get a lot of our sun exposure. So it's really important to think about sunscreen and sun protection at a very young age.
Regardless of the type of sunscreen you're applying to your child, you'll want to use a good coat that requires rubbing in. She says waxy sunscreen sticks may be a good option for kids' faces because they go on easily, stick well, and won't run into their eyes. Some kids enjoy smearing this type of product all over themselves. Just be sure they don't miss any spots like around their eyes. Another option kids often like is a sunscreen spray. If you're using a spray, you'll want to make 2 or 3 passes to get a nice shiny coat and then rub it in. Dr. Piliang says you can even let your kids take over once they're old enough. In fact, that's what she did with her own children.
When they could, I would let them spray themselves while I was watching. I think it's good for them to have that control, and then they form the habit of just doing it themselves. I would have them go outside in a well-ventilated area and watch them to make sure they didn't miss any areas.
If it's a battle to sunscreen your kids, sun protective clothing is another option. These items can be worn in the water, and you won't have to reapply sunscreen to areas covered by sun protective clothing.
Well, we got to tell everybody those graduation DVDs and digital links from Pahrump Valley High School are available as of today.
Yes, we're ready to send out those links, and you need to download them as soon as possible because there is a limited time that you will have access to those.
Exactly. And then we have been calling all day long individuals who purchase those DVDs and digital links and letting them know that they are available right now. So if you didn't purchase one, you still can do that.
That's right. Come on down to our station. You can purchase an actual physical DVD or purchase access to a link.
And that's you can also call 727-9400 extension 0. Talk to Memory or Rory and find out how to purchase those. And that is the edited version of the Pahrump Valley High School graduation.
Professionally edited, professionally shot
exactly.
by Deanna O'Donnell, our very own.
And everybody else, the whole crew. All right, so we got to tell everybody it's hot.
Yes, extremely hot. There's a heat advisory warning. Take care of your pets, other people in the community. Stay hydrated. Bring your plants inside, pets inside. And there's actually going to be legislation in terms of people having their pets outside. That's considered abuse, especially in these extreme temperatures.
I keep telling you I can't bring the cow in. I can't do it.
Well, a barn, something.
I know.
Shelter. Yes.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm Deanna.
I'm Yunette.
Good night.
Good night.